Have you ever been curious about how I read the tarot? That's coming up right after this. Hi, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Mel, and I'm the owner, creator, and operator of Mel's Divination. Today is going to be very quick. If you have noticed, I'm filming late today. I'm posting this late today. I usually post videos every single Wednesday for those of you that are familiar with my channel, but it's been a weird week. And I don't know if it's the remaining embers of Mercury retrograde as Mercury gets out of its shadow period or what's going on, but I have run out of time for filming. So as the sun is setting and things were crazy today, I decided to do this video very quickly to get it in for you guys. I wanted to talk about how I read tarot because I've never discussed this, and I am doing a series kind of get to know me, but I also want to do a series about how I run the business and how the things that I have to offer for clients that are interested. So we're gonna get right into it. As a reader, I have lots of things that I can offer you guys as a reader. I am an empath. I have most of what people call the clairs, which are clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience, and pretty much the general, we can talk about that in another video, but basically it means I have an understanding and a knowing of higher levels of divine intervention, or my guides give me downloads and understandings and channelings as I'm doing readings. So I will get into a whole nother video about how I got started into all this, but today we're just talking about tarot. So tarot has specific definitions, tarot cards, and actually I didn't grab any because I'm trying to do this very quickly. I have some right behind me, thank goodness. So I have a deck of tarot cards right behind me, and they are mixed, but this is a deck of tarot cards. So each one has different definitions, and depending on, and they all have thorough definitions, and I haven't memorized them all. I really haven't. I know basic concepts. I know the ideas of them. I have books, lots of books that I've read about them, but I haven't mastered tarot in the sense of I've studied it for years and years and years and years and memorized every single thing that has ever been printed about tarot, because I use my guides, okay? I use my intuition with the tarot. So the way that I read tarot, when I do a reading, depending on what the reading is, I shuffle the cards, I connect to the person's guides or my guides or both, depending on the scenario, and I pull cards. So if I get the moon card, for instance, here, this is a card, and I have different decks of tarot, but this is just an example of a card, right? The moon card has its own specific definitions of what it stands for. It also has a number at the top, which is backwards right now, but that doesn't really matter. And then there's imagery here. So the way that I read, the way that I work, I use tarot spreads, and every spread is different depending on your or my, sometimes I read for myself, depending on the question, the situation, and what's going on. So the cards all go out into this layout, depending, and sometimes I just pull cards. But if it's a deep reading, I'll put them in their spots. So for instance, I don't know, an obstacle card. If the moon is the obstacle card, it'll go into the obstacle space, and this is your obstacle, okay? Or the future or whatever. And I will look at, okay, so the obstacle card is the moon, right? And the way that I read it is I don't regurgitate to my clients, the moon means la di blah blah definition. That's not how I read. So when somebody who is familiar with tarot, and I've read for lots of people who are readers. In fact, one of my mentors who I greatly respect, who's been reading for 30 plus years, comes to me for readings because we think and function very similarly, and she likes the way that I read. So, and she likes that I'm very blunt. I'm very straight to the point. For different reasons, I have a philosophy about it, but also it's just my personality. I try to be gentle. Sometimes I'm not always as gentle as I could be, but I like to just tell people what I see because it's easier than tiptoeing around. And often in readings, sending that fairy tale message, people will hear what they want to hear instead of actually getting the point, which nobody's paying for that. So that's part of it. Now, back to the point of the tarot. So every card, like I said, has a definition. So I will say, oh, you have the moon card here. And if you're familiar, or if my client is familiar, they'll probably be thinking of their own messages and meanings of what they have their little definition of the moon card means, blah, blah, blah. Now, here's where it gets interesting. My intuition doesn't always follow these definitions. So, for instance, there's been plenty of times that I'll get a card and it goes way off the definition, but it fits the scenario of the reading. So there was one time, very in particular, and I don't know if I can find it while I'm talking to you, and we'll see if I can. There was one time I got a card called the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups can often be talking about contact or communication, about emotion, and different things like that. And it's a person holding a cup, and in the cup has a fish. And I don't know if I can find it. We'll see if I can find it quickly while I'm filming, because I don't have time to edit today. So I'm going to try to find it while we're chatting here. So I got this card, and I'm doing a reading for a client, and this was so long ago, but I still remember it because it blew me away. And as I'm reading for this client and I get this card, I see the Page of Cups, and I'm saying, oh, here it is. Okay. So I see the Page of Cups. Here's the Page of Cups. You guys can see it. This guy is holding a cup, and there's clearly, I don't know if you can see that there's clearly, see if it'll focus. There's clearly a fish in it. It doesn't look, the traditional Rider-Waite doesn't look exactly like this, but there's clearly a fish in it. And it doesn't really look like the guy is going to drink out of the cup. It looks like he's kind of presenting the cup, right? Well, in the traditional Rider-Waite, the one that I use is a little bit smaller. The pictures are a tiny bit smaller. So anyway, I get like this visual in my head where it animates the pictures sometimes. Like they almost come to life, cartoony. And what I was seeing was the guy was drinking. He was drinking the cup, and he looked like an alcoholic to me who liked to drink a lot. And what came through to me was an uncle of mine that I had lost. And he had never come through to me, and I am not a medium. And he had never come through to me before. And he was saying to me, this person is like me. This person is like me. It's like he has a daughter like I had. And my uncle had passed away. And it went on and on and on and on. And I started describing my uncle and his qualities and his personality and the way he lived. And the woman was like, oh my God, how did you know that? Now, a traditional definition of the Page of Cups has nothing to do with that. So this is what I mean for an example for you guys of how I read tarot. I will go along with sometimes the traditional definitions, but I will also go along with what my intuition shows me. If I start getting visions, because I do get visions in my mind's eye, if I start seeing things, if I start being shown things or hearing things or being given guidance from my intuition that this is way off what the definition is, but look at the images and look at what's going on here, I will start describing stuff, and sometimes it doesn't make sense to me. I'll be like, I don't understand why I'm seeing this because it's way off what I've learned to trust over the many years that I've been reading. And I'll ask the client, and bam, the client's like, yeah, how did you know that? So that's what I'm explaining here. That's what I wanted to teach today to you guys. First of all, you need to learn how to trust your intuition. And it's taken me years of building that up. And there's still sometimes moments that I'm like, I don't understand. And the client confirms, you know it, that's right. How do you know? How did you know that? And it's a sensation that you get. It's a feeling that you get. And it's like, I don't know. So it's learning over the years to trust those feelings and trust those intuitive hits and explaining them to a person. So basically that's how I read. I also see tarot as a story. So when I do a layout or a spread, I walk the client through each individual one. And when you lay them all, to grab these again. So if we have a couple of them and they're all next to each other in different positions, what does the King of Pentacles reversed next to the Judgment card, next to the Eight of Wands, next to the Two of Cups? What does that all mean when they're all near each other? Because the King of Pentacles reversed next to the Judgment card means something. The Judgment card next to the Eight of Wands means something. This all means something. So I'm not here to teach about tarot today. I'm here to teach how I read, like talk about it a little bit if you're curious about what I offer. I do offer general readings. I offer love readings. I offer career readings. I do offer finance. I don't like to read around legal things. And I stay away from health readings as well. But I do offer all those things. So do check out my website. Please be 18 and older for readings. And that's about it. Or email me if you have any questions, or comment below if you have questions. So that is really all I wanted to go over today about how I read with tarot. I also will mix in oracle decks as well. And we will talk about that another time because Mel's out of time today to talk in the third person. I have somewhere else to be and things to do. It's a short one today, guys. So I hope this was informative for you, and it is the first in a series of things of what I have to offer for Mel's Divination for the business side, and I hope you like this. So please subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so that you know when I go live. I owe you guys a live. It's coming up. I promise. I will be talking more about things, and comment, share, subscribe. I don't know what else I said. I can't remember. So thank you again very much for all of you that have been following me. And I know I've been getting a lot of new followers. So thank you for that. Thank you for this kind community. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.